A very warm good morning to all the superstars of Sri Gokulam Public School. Welcome to your online English class. I hope that all my dazzling students are in full of spirits and ready to start your new class. So in today's class, we are going to discuss a story from your textbook, Moments, Chapter 4, In the Kingdom of Fools. Fools. Does that name strike you something? Have you been fooled by someone? Of course. At some point of our life, we have been fooled either by our friends or by our brothers or sisters. And at the end of it all, we would all have laughed out loud thinking about the idiotic and the stupid things that we have done. But can you imagine of a person who is born without any common sense? You see, it is very difficult to deal with such kind of people because whatever they do would be utterly foolish and yet they believe it to be right. It is often said that a foolish man is a dangerous man. So in today's story also, we are going to discuss about such a place where the king and the minister itself are great fools. The name of that kingdom was in fact the Kingdom of Fools. The king and the minister in this kingdom wanted to do something very different from all other kings. So do you know what did they come up with? They came up with such a stupid idea of making night time their working time. Now, isn't that really crazy? The king ordered all the people that they should sleep during the daytime and at night time they would wake up and work their farms, do business works and all other activities. Of course, few sensible people went and opposed against this. But the king wouldn't listen to their words. He ordered that anybody who went against the king would be executed. Executed means killed. Now the people feared death, so they obeyed the king and his minister. The king and the minister thought that their project was successful and was very happy. It was at this time that a guru means a saint, he and his disciple, his student, came into this kingdom. They entered the kingdom during daytime and to their surprise they found that everyone was sleeping. This created a curiosity in the guru and the disciple. In fact, at night time they found that all the people were working. There was more surprise in store for the guru and his disciple when they went at night time to buy things from the grocery. They found that whatever they purchased, it cost only 1 rupee. 1 rupee, in their place it was called as dudu. So everything was for 1 dudu. You could buy a measure of rice or a bunch of bananas for the same price. In fact, expensive things like gold and silver was also for 1 rupee. The disciple and the guru bought all the food that they could and cooked and ate. The disciple was happier than the guru. But the guru, being a very sensible and intelligent man, he told his disciple, after we have finished eating, we should immediately leave this place. This is not a safe place for us to stay in. The disciple did not want to move away. He insisted on staying because he could buy whatever he could and eat as much as he wanted. The Guru advised him. He told that, yes, it is a wonderful idea to stay and eat and enjoy, but these people are very foolish. And we never know how dangerous they can be. But the disciple would not listen to the intelligent words spoken by the Guru. He wanted to stay. Finally, the Guru got fed up and he said, do whatever you want. I am going. Guru left the disciple and the disciple stayed in the kingdom. He ate whatever he wanted to eat and he grew fat like a bull. Now one night, a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. Now, as the thief was moving out from the house with whatever he had stolen, loot means whatever he had stolen, suddenly the wall of the rich merchant's house fell on his head and killed the thief. Now, the brother of the thief ran to the king's palace and informed him that his dear darling brother, when he was robbing the rich merchant, a wall fell on his head and he died. And the brother said that it is the fault of the rich merchant and hence he should be punished. The foolish king, of course, believed the words of the thief's brother and told him that the justice will be done. He called the rich merchant to his house and asked him of the incident. The rich merchant submitted before the king and said that whatever has been informed is true. The wall was built weak and so it had fallen on the thief and he died. But the king, instead of punishing the thief, told that you have built a weak wall, so you will be hanged for this. The rich merchant started begging the king and he said that, my lord, you shouldn't punish me. I have not built the wall. The wall was built by a worker and he should be punished for it. Now the king thought and he asked, okay, who has built the wall? The merchant said, it was built during my father's time, so that worker is a very old man, but I know him. I will bring him to your palace. Now that old man was brought into the king's palace. The king asked him, did you build the wall? So he said, yes, I have. So the king now became furious and he said, immediately execute this man. The bricklayer pleaded that it was not his fault and that he remembered that a young beautiful girl who was a dancer was moving past him many times that he lost his concentration. She was walking up the street many times. He was many times looking up at her. He said that he remembered where the girl lived and he went to bring the girl to the king's palace. The young girl at that time now had turned into an old woman. The king shouted at her and said, it is because of you that the thief is dead. You did not allow the bricklayer to build the wall properly. Hence, you shall be executed immediately. The old woman also pleaded before the king. She said that it is not her fault. She too remembered an incident of giving some gold to the goldsmith who lived next to the rich merchant's house, and the goldsmith, who was supposed to make some jewelry for her, did not do the work properly and so many times she had to go and meet the goldsmith. As she was going in and out to meet the goldsmith, the bricklayer had laid his eyes on her, and hence the entire problem had happened. Now, the king was in deep confusion. He said that this case is getting to be very complicated. First the rich merchant, then the bricklayer, then the old woman, and now the goldsmith. They were not getting the real culprit. Again, the goldsmith was summoned to the king's palace. The goldsmith too had a story to tell. He said that it is true that he had taken the gold from the lady to make jewelry, but at the same time a rich merchant also had given him some gold, and since he was very busy preparing the jewelry for the wedding, he was unable to make the jewelry for the lady. The lady had to come many times to meet the goldsmith, because of which the bricklayer laid his eyes on the woman, and the wall was not built properly and it fell on the thief. He said all this problem had happened because the rich merchant was very impatient and troubling him to make the jewelry with immediate effect. Now the king was very troubled. He said that we should immediately find this rich merchant and execute him. Now the joke turns out to be that who is the rich merchant? The rich merchant was none other than the original owner's father. Yes, it was that same merchant's father for whom the goldsmith had made the jewelry. So it turns out the circle has completed itself. The king said, no more discussions and investigation. The king discussed the matter with his minister and said, whatever crime the father has done will be passed on to the children. So since his father was the real problem creator, his crime is also going to come to the son, and hence, as first discussed, the rich merchant is going to get executed. Now, the orders were given. A stake was prepared for the hanging. Stake means a wooden log piece. Okay, so it was ordered, it was prepared for hanging. And when they brought the merchant to be executed, then came another trouble. This time the execution could not take place because the merchant was very thin and the log was very broad. Again, the king and the minister sat down for the discussion.